Grab your big book, your pen, your highlighter, and notepad and get ready to hear and apply some of the solution from the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous through the experience, strength, and hope of Nikki M. To have a question addressed in a future episode of Noodle It Out with Nikki, please send an email to noodlewithnikki@gmail.com, and Nikki is spelled with 2 Ks. To get a more interactive experience with Nikki as she noodles out life and recovery questions using the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, you can get a link to her weekly Noodle It Out with Nikki meeting held live on Zoom every Monday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. The information to that meeting is in the show notes of this podcast. God morning, God afternoon, and God evening to everyone out there. My name is Justin B. I'm a son of an all-powerful and all-loving God and a qualifying addict of multiple fellowships, living in the miracle of recovery one day at a time, and I am here with the intelligent agent, spearhead of God's ever-advancing creation, and my co-host, Nikki M. Nikki, say hi and let us know something important in your life today.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nikki M., and I'm a grateful spearhead, agent, child of God, and light worker, and I love being here. And what's really important to me? What's important to me today is to relinquish my need to be right. That's the most important thing. My need to be right interrupts everything, Justin, especially in 2024. Hey, if you're listening and you're in the year 2030, we've survived COVID. We're going into some weird things. And the most important thing for me is to relinquish my need to be right. Basically, have God sit on my tongue. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. And that brings a lot of peace into my life, too, just to say, you know what, God, things are a mess, but I'm going to put myself in your hands and do what you want me to do. And then I don't get caught up in the news of the world. And there's a big book quote there that I'm dancing around that I can't remember exactly what it is word for word. Nikki, if you can help me with that, what is that phrase?
It's on page 132. I think we do not indulge in the cynicism over the state of the nations, which your friend Nikki M, the scrolling addict, likes to do. There we go.
There we go. That's it. Thank you so much, Nikki, for reminding me of that. If you are a newcomer to Noodle It Out with Nikki and any of the Rico 12 things, I invite you to go check out any of the previous. Once this comes out, there's going to be close to 70 Noodle It Out with Nikki meetings recordings that you can go back and listen to. There's close to 70 Big Book Roundtable recordings, and there are at this time close to 300 Rico 12 speaker meetings out there that you can just go in and listen to people's experience, strength, and hope. You can listen to how the Big Book works and where it came from and what it means, and you can listen to questions and answers on real life situations. And that's what Noodle It Out with Nikki M is. We take questions from our lives, from the lives of those we work with, from people who send in email questions, and from people who just post questions in our lives, and bring them here to the Big Book as Nikki brings her energy and excitement to answering those questions through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. So everybody grab your big book. We've got a question in today that comes through the Noodle It Out with Nikki chat on the WhatsApp group. If you'd like to be able to join that and get on there and speak and listen to Big Book talk and solution, you can find that information in the show notes of the chat, or the show notes of the podcast, and we'd be happy to have you there. Okay, today's question is this. I am completely in unacceptance of life on life's terms. I feel abandoned and even betrayed by my higher power. I feel hopeless and faithless. Where can I turn? Nikki, what does the book say? Where can we turn?
Well, if I can find the unmute button, you can turn right out of a 12-step fellowship and go do some more experimenting. Go back out there. Why are you here then? Seriously, this is where it really is painful. You've got 1 foot in the old world and 1 foot in the new world. Because it sounds like, I don't know much about this person, but it sounds like this person knows a little bit about even the Big Book, because they know that page 417. I mean, this is what they're talking about. They're talking about page 417, and acceptance is the answer. I mean, we'll just go there. Let me just go there. Is the answer to all my problems. And they can't accept. See, that's what it says right there. Page 417, acceptance. It doesn't say stop drinking, stop using. It says, I mean, you have to do that in order to accept. But it says right here, acceptance is the answer to all my problems. And this person's saying, I can't accept that. Then go out somewhere else. Go try, and I'm going to go through here. Go try your willpower. Let me know how that works for you. Go try more promises. Go try some controlled thinking and using of everything. Go try and move geographical location. Go to counseling. Go to a doctor, because that didn't work for you, or you would not be here. See, if I'm understanding, and I don't know who this person is, but they have a little bit of idea of what we do here, because they know this page. Acceptance is the answer to all. And the all on page 417 is italicized. So if you cannot accept, then go to another detox, go to another spa, go have like I did, Justin. It wasn't even in the rooms. I didn't know my addict life was the doctor's opinion. My addict life was the only normal one, right? That's what it says. The addict life is my only normal one. So there it is. I had a daughter at 18. Well, she, I'm 30 now. My daughter's 12 and I need a son. And then God gives me, of course, a son that I throw out literally a year later. Like it's sick. So go do that. Go get a pet. Go get a 4-pound pocket dog that, I didn't want to get into it with Toby does to me. I mean, he eats my soul. Okay. My 4-pound pocket dog, go and try all these things. And then let me know. And then you're going to come back here and you will either be forced into acceptance or you will die. Why? Page 30 says, many pursue it to the gates of insanity or death. What? Pursue the fact that they can't accept their life. See, I could have easily done that recently. Hey, is my sound okay, Justin?
Yep, you're sounding good.
Okay, I just saw a little freeze frame. And there it is. I have to accept that I'm still doing Noodle on my cell phone in my little plug-in ear things when I want what Justin has. He's got that cool mic. He's got the things. He's got a desk. I can see you with all your stuff. I need that setup, but not today. So I have to accept that this is my reality. Sometimes I'll listen back to the podcast, Justin, and I'll hear me breaking up and I'll cringe and I'll be like, and I'll have to accept that's the reality. What am I going to do? Like, this is radical stuff. So if you can, everybody, this is for everybody. If you cannot accept this program, this way of life, page 16. See, this is a way of life. We're just riffing here as I'm thinking out loud, Justin. I'm channeled. It's always good we do Noodle in the morning because I'm really awake, and we do it right after, again, getting on Noodle meeting where 150 people every Monday come out and talk about accepting this way of life, because it's on page 16 and we read it today on our meeting. We had 2 people dying. Why? He and she, there was a boy and a girl, a man and a woman, would not see our way of life. See, this is a way of life. And if you can't accept this way of life, then go to your church. Oh, that's right. That didn't work for you. Go back to your yoga mat. Oh, that's right. That didn't work for you. Go back to your ashram. Go back to your hot lodge sweats. Go to all of these things. None of those things permanently. We need a permanent solution. Those things help when you're connected to a power. But other than that, if they're not connected to a power, they're just empty tools running off nothingness. So you said you cannot accept and you feel abandoned and betrayed. Well, page 55 asks you to sweep away your prejudice. Let's go there. And this is to be done every day. Like, I'll just give a prelude here. I think it's page 83 says, God, the creator of the universe, the reason you're here, not your mom and dad. They're just hosts. They just gave you the seeds to come to life. They just hosted you to get into this world till you were free. The creator of the universe gave you brains to use. You are not born a mukaku. That's a monkey in Portuguese. My little half Portuguese prince, my son. I'm like, you're not a mukaku. You're a man. Act like one. So you're not a monkey. You were born with brains. So you can, and God gave you brains to use. So we're going to read page 55. And it says right here, see, you have to sweep away your prejudice, caveat every day. You need to think honestly. Honestly, like what happens if you don't accept this life? You're going to go buy a new one? Tell me where you can go buy a new life. Tell me. Someone, please message me and Justin and tell us where you can go get a new life, because I've tried to recreate my life on my own. And it says, I'm powerless. I can't do that. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to recreate our life, right? That's what it is. A design for living. And that's what it says on page XXVII. In nearly all cases, the newcomer's ideals. See, you're in your old ideals. You're on page 32, person who can't accept. You're falling victim to an old belief system that you can actually live in a world that you can't accept. Because I'll tell you something, Justin, when COVID hit in 2020, it's 4 years since. Do you think this 47-year-old woman could accept the fact that I lost my job at one of Canada's largest hospitals during a pandemic? I had to accept it or I would die. Do you think I could accept the fact that I couldn't get on a plane to fly to Luxembourg, to Europe to see? I couldn't fly to California where my daughter lives. I remember calling her, some experience, strength, and hope here. And I called her and I said, I'm never getting the vaccine. If I never see you again, I hope you understand. And she says, I love you, Mom. And I said, I love you. Because at that time, my prime minister said, you will never get on a plane, train, or automobile. I mean, there was some real heavy words in that time, and you can Google it. It's all there. It's all there. I'm not making up fake news. And in that moment, I really thought I'd never be able to, I thought I was going to a concentration camp. So long story short, I accepted everything. And what did I do, Mr. I can't accept life? I did exactly what the book says, page 70. Let's go there. And Justin and I did it because Justin started this, and I think he started Rico in during
it was
COVID,
in 2020. It was in 2020. So
there we
first meeting was June 19th of 2020.
There we go. And so here it is. See, when COVID's troublesome, when acceptance is troublesome, if sex, if food, if my relationship with God is very troublesome. I'm on page 70, everybody. I'm on the third sentence, third paragraph down. If sex, if acceptance, if hate, if COVID, if world economics, if my son, if my wife is troublesome, if my family is troublesome, if anything is troublesome, I throw myself harder into helping others. There it is. Misacceptance. You're too busy in the disease of self, page 32, falling victim to your old belief system. You haven't, page 55, swept away your prejudice. This is radical every day. You aren't thinking honestly. You're not using the brains God gave you. You're like my 4-pound puppy dog, begging for someone to give you something that is only where, Justin? Deep down inside. See, this acceptance is only found deep down inside of you. You're not going to find it anywhere else. Tell me, Justin, let's play this exercise. Tell me something and get real deep in your thoughts. What is something that you could not accept? Like you were like, I'm going to die on this hill.
I could not accept that I couldn't stop my addictive behaviors on my own. I got myself into this mess. I have to get myself out of this mess. And I was going to die on that hill. And I basically did until I finally became willing to say, okay, well, I've tried all of the self-help books. I've tried all of the prayer. I've tried all the religious behaviors. I've tried all of the personal self-improvement, everything. And I was finally like, okay, well, what else is there? Death or what? And I think that's where I wanted to go to actually in the first place here with earlier was nobody comes into these rooms soaring on the wings of eagles. We come crawling in. If a 12-step meeting is your first thing that you've ever tried to quote unquote quit your addiction, you are an anomaly. And the people that I hear that was their first try went back out for several years before coming back saying, you know what, this is too hard. So often I need to be beaten down by life, by unacceptance of the way things are, unacceptance of life on life's terms, and then say, okay, well, there's nothing else. I guess I'll give it a try with all these kooks that sit around in circles and say I'm an addict and I'm powerless over this and my life is unmanageable. I would never accept that I was powerless, nor that my life was unmanageable. And that was one thing that I would not accept until, well, it was forced upon me in the crucible of my experience there. So
I love that. I want to say too, I mean, I think last week we said it was Thanksgiving, and, none of my family, we've all kind of separated, and I've gone deep into a spirit world. So, I'm busy in service, but not one of my family, like blood family. And I've got 50 cousins. I mean, I come from a Lebanese family on my mother's side. I mean, there's tons of us. Not one of said, what are you and your mom doing for Thanksgiving? And I too didn't want to host anybody. I've done that for years, hosting. And, but not one person, but you know who was around me? I think you called them the weirdos that sit around. What was the word? You just used a rad word.
It may have been freaks or weird. I can't remember what it was, but yeah.
Whatever it was. Yeah. These people in these programs, these members are the people who are, I hear one downstairs in my house right now, because we're going to go cook the 50 turkeys or the 5 turkeys and serve, 70 people night, blah, blah, blah. She's the one yesterday who drove me to get it. We were at church yesterday. I was with my church family yesterday. Like, this goes deep. So person who can't accept, I want to take us to page 28. See, and when I asked Justin, what made you accept? He said, he sought the same escape with all the desperation of a drowning man. I don't think you're drowning enough. That's true. Like, if you're not drowning enough, go back out and drown. And if you drown, guess what, Justin? I'm sorry, but I'm really armed with the facts. I'm not going to, I'm just going to say that's what the book says. See, if you go out and drown, there's nothing I can do to help you. Everybody, Al-Anons, there's nothing you can do. We never, page 120, arrange a human's life. We are not going to save Mr. or Miss Unaccepting. Go back out. And if you come back, that's great. We have a seat waiting for you. We have a seat at the table ready for you. But we're not going to chase you around begging you to accept what you must accept, which it says here, which at first seemed a flimsy read, and it's proved. See, Justin and I know this is a fact, a loving and powerful hand of God. Do you want a new life? Do you want a design for living that works really well? Justin said that we have another podcast where we go line by line through the big book. I encourage you, Mr. and Mrs. Non-Acceptance, to find this episode on page 28 and 29, where we talk about if what we have learned and felt and seen means anything at all. If what that's me, that's Justin, that's David G on that podcast, the Roundtable podcast, and all our friends who are towing the line. If what we have learned, felt, and seen means anything at all, it means that all of us, even you, Miss Unaccepting, Mr. Unaccepting, whatever your race, whatever your creed, whatever your color, we're all children of a living creator with whom we may form a relationship. See, you're forming a relationship, right? This is simple and understandable terms. Google the terms. Sweep away your prejudice. Think honestly, right? Think honestly. Search diligently within yourself. Get willing. Get honest enough. See, those of us having religious affiliation, past beliefs, past belief system, past ideas, will find nothing disturbing. Okay? Nothing. Because you're going to sweep away all that stuff and you're going to get new beliefs, new ceremonies, new ideas. And if you have old ones that work for you, your sweat lodge, bring them in. Bring them in. You got your church. Bring it in. We don't care. We're not asking you to accept things that aren't acceptable. Simple. Understandable. There's no friction among us over such matters. My note says all are welcome. Page 46, 45 in the big book. All welcome. There's no hard terms here. There it is, 46. As soon as we admitted the possibility of an existence, see, Mr. and Mrs. Unaccepting, you are not the creative, intelligent spirit of the universe. That's not your job. So I'm here to tell you, Nikki, Justin, Mr. and Mrs. Unaccepting, you are not the creative, intelligent spirit of the universe. How about this? You know nothing. You don't know the totality of things. You don't know these. And so once you start to admit you know nothing, once you start to relinquish your need to be right, says page 420, the dying of the self, your need to be right, relinquish it. Then you will be possessed of a new sense of power and direction. It says that's a promise. You will be possessed. That's why we're weirdos. We get possessed here by love, by being responsible, by being accepting. That's pretty radical and weird if you ask me. We get possessed. And then what does it says? We have to take other simple steps. See, this power, God, this unconditional, accepting God does not make too hard of terms with those who earnestly, oh, it doesn't say earnestly, but I want to put it in there, who seek him, her, love, being responsible, sweeping away your prejudice. To us, the realm of the spirit. See, we're in a spirit world. When you're unaccepting, you're still in the human world. You're still in a human world. This is 5D, 4D, 12D shit. This is radical. Most people won't make it. That's why this is so radical. The realm of the spirit, broad, roomy, all inclusive, never exclusive or forbidding to those who earnestly, there's my earnestly. See, you got to do it wholeheartedly. You got to abandon yourself to this lifestyle. You got to accept that nothing on the planet works for you and that this book is a gift. It's a magic book. It's a Bible for survival, and it gives you exact instructions. It's open to all humans. And you know this passage, Mr. Justin, because you know that beautiful Bible, and it says Matthew 7, verse 13, 14. That's where that comes from. And I don't know it. I just have it to refer to it later. But this is all about love. So if you can't accept love because you hate yourself so much and you hate others, then you're going to have trouble here. But if you can, right? Get in here because I'm just rambling. Get in here.
Yeah, no. I just want to jump in because something hit me that I think is really important for me to say. Whether it's important for anybody else to hear or not, that's for God to decide. You know, I mentioned that I had tried everything before coming into the rooms. Religious practices, for example. I was as holy as I could be in my religious practices, and it still didn't work. And now, as I have come into these rooms and recognized and become willing to turn in all things to the Father of Light, to give my will and my life over to the care of God as I understand God, those religious practices now bring power into my life because it's not, I'm not doing them to seek the solution anymore. I'm doing them to enhance the solution that I have found in these rooms. And I think the same goes for self-help books. I think the same goes for retreats and yoga and whatever else we may be trying to do in order to, quote unquote, overcome our addictions. It's all the solution is found in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, in these principles that we learn as we go through this, and in turning, I'm going to say that phrase again, turning in all things to the Father of Light, because in that, then those other things gain the power that they need. Nikki, any follow-ups on that?
Okay, final thought for me is, because we started the podcast, this episode is, I can't accept life. I feel betrayed. I feel, abandoned. Here it is, page 30. You better smash the idea that you are like anyone on the planet. And I want you to do this every day. Here's your prescription. And it's an endless supply. And I want you, as my friend Joyce Meyer says, I want you to take it every day. It's an endless supply of this prescription of smashing the idea that you are like anyone on the planet. Then I need you to turn to page 13. And I need you to have a belief in the power of God. Nikki, I hate God. Okay. Belief in the power of love. Belief in the power of being responsible, making your bed, accepting the fact that this is the line and the course you have to toe, having willingness, honesty, and humility, being quiet, towing the line, to establish and maintain. This is a new order of things. They're essential to your requirements. They're essential requirements. You have to do these things every day. And then here it says on page 14, this is simple. It's not easy. You have to pay the price. So if Mr. and Mrs. Unaccepting, if you are not willing to pay that price, which means the destruction of self, and Justin said it, turn all things over, and all those human aids, when they're powered by this Father of Light, actually become helpful tools. You, like me and Justin, can just kick back and watch miracles all damn day. God, I love this life. Thank you for getting me high on God dope today, Justin.
And thank you for doing the same, Nikki. Really appreciate it. All I can say is thank you, and let's get into this. Let's get into acceptance of life on life's term. Let's get into turning in all things to the Father of Light. Keep coming back. Work it. You are worth it.